complaints in life. Oh, it should be like this, or it should be like that, or I wish it went like this, or I wish it went like that. I wish he was like this. I wish she was like that. I wish he didn't do that. So many things. But actually, we're going to go through the Bhagavad Gita, and the foundational teachings of Bhagavad Gita are all about what it means to be wise and why we should not complain. And so Krishna is teaching us some very basic understandings about why in the Vedic thought we don't complain. But every day, that's not our tendency, right? We're always trying to blame others, or blame someone, or blame something for our problems. But there's really only one person to blame. Do you know who it is? Yes. Some people might say, blame God. God did it. Yes, he did, but also why did he do it? There's a reason, because that is the the appropriate reaction for what we do. So, we can't blame God, we have to actually blame ourselves. So anyway, we're going to just go through some portions of Bhagavad Gita. But before we do, we'll do some prayers. Tanma, you're feeling strong?
Yeah.
Do you think you can lift that huge box back there and bring that over here? It's not that big, I'm being a little facetious. But Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Who did you transfer him to? Tanu, okay.
She's coming.
Alright. And maybe, Deepthi, you can share this with the fellow listeners. We can chant these all together. Before we begin, we'll glorify Srila Prabhupada via his pranam mantra. So if you know it. Namo Vishnu Padaya
Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashachadi Shatarine Nabhimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uta Padakamalam Shri Gunum Vaishnavansha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Vindam Samsajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalitam Shri Vishakanitam Sham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Namo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda.
Are you looking for how to get out of here?
Oh,
It's just right there. You can go through here, it's not fun.
That's
Yeah.
You can,
It's right
you can. Yes, yes.
Which one did we chant? Jai Shri Krishna?
Yes.
Hare
Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
So before we begin any study, I speak anything, I'd like to offer my obeisances unto Shri Guru, now the blessings and mercy of my spiritual teachers. I'd have nothing to share, and it's my only way to be connected. It's our only way to be connected to the Supreme Lord, so I offer my heart like flowers to my source of connection, to the teachings of the Lord. I then want to offer my obeisances unto our entire Gaudiya Guru Varga, our entire lineage of gurus, from which only by their mercy that this knowledge has been able to come down to us, and that's so we offer them my deep respects and love in my heart. And then finally, I want to offer my obeisances onto all of my spiritual brothers and sisters. That's all you guys. So we'll chant the prayer. Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Maybe Tanner, it might be good to put it in this. It might be good to put this because if he moves it, it scratches the floor. Alright, so we're studying Bhagavad Gita. And actually, if you didn't know, this is relevant to us because especially the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So let's actually look what the chapter is described as. First chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It's called Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kurukshetra. It's often also titled Vishada Yoga, which means the yoga of lamentation. So, but actually, how is there a yoga? What does yoga mean? Does anyone know?
Connection.
Yoga means to link or connect, especially with the divine source. So how can lamentation be a yoga? Anyone have any idea? What? Well, because actually you're making a connection to the reality of a situation. So what's the actual reality of the situation? Arjuna and his brothers, they did everything that they were supposed to do. They did everything that they were supposed to do. There wasn't a single activity that they did, at least with their heart and intentions, that wasn't perfectly executed as per the Vedic scriptures. They did everything right. Are you guys also doing? We're doing everything right? We're following the Vedas strictly? No, we don't really. We can try and we'll get a better result if we do. But still, they did everything perfectly, and still at the end of the day, what happened? What?
They lost it.
Well, you could say. They gained the best thing. But all materially speaking, it was a great tribulation. And that's actually what is lamentable to the ordinary person. An ordinary person, they can do everything right. You can do everything right in this world, but still, at the end of the day, you're going to find yourself in an uncomfortable situation. That's what this world breeds. It's not going to all work out how you want it to. It never does, and it never will. And it never happened to anyone here in the past, and it never will in the future here. So if you are attached to things being perfect here in this world, you're going to lament. So you'll be like Arjuna and engage in Vishada Yoga, this yoga of lamentation. But that's not the yoga we're looking for. That's not the yoga that Krishna is going to represent. So eventually Arjuna, he puts forth all of his arguments to Krishna, but then at some point he realizes, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what to do, this is very smart. Because no matter what you do, you're going to find yourself in an awkward situation in this world. Anyone found themselves yet in an awkward situation? Yes, we're all in some awkward situations. All the time, really. So, at some point though, he did this. This was very smart, what he did. So you should also consider, try to be like Arjuna. Yes, you can lament. So who here has so many complaints in this world? Everything's perfect? Yes. If you have some complaint, you're not alone. You're like every person in this world. But there is a consciousness above this lamentation. So this is what Krishna is trying to get Arjuna to. So Arjuna, he says to Krishna, this is very smart. You should learn this. If you learn this one thing, you'll be really set in life. If you don't learn this one thing, actually, if you don't learn this one thing, it doesn't matter what you study in your life, nothing will be successful. But if you learn this one thing, then you have a chance for everything to be successful in your life. Okay, so I'll quiz you what the one thing is at the end. So he says this, repeat after me. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava Prichchami tvang dharma samudha chetaha Yat treyashan nishtitang bruhitan me Shishyashteham shadimang tvam prapana. Okay. Karpanya. Miserly. Dosha. Weakness. Upahata. Being inflicted by. Swabhava. Characteristics. Prichchami. I am asking. Tvam. Unto you. Dharma. Religion. Samudha. Bewildered. Chetaha. In heart. Yat. What? Shreya. Is all good. Or all good, sorry. Shat. May be. Nishchitam. Confidently. Bruhi. Tell. Tat. That. May. Unto me. Shishya. Disciple. Te. Your. Aham. I am. Shadhi. Just instruct. Mam. Me. Tvam. Unto you. Prapanam. Surrender. Okay. So, translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Arjuna says, now I am confused about my duty. That's Dharma Samudha Chetaha. My heart is confused about my duty, and I've lost all composure because of weakness. So that means Karpanya Dosho Pahata Swabhava. My nature is afflicted by this weakness, this miserable and weak nature of mine. But he's saying, Yat Treyashan Nishtitam Bruhitan Me. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me clearly what is best for me. Yat Treyashan. How can good fortune arise in my life? So this is smart. You should admit, you should realize, I don't know what to do. This is making me miserable, and I'm overcome by this weakness and misery in my life. So you should find somebody. Also, Arjuna was fortunate, because who was he with on the battlefield of Kurukshetra? He was with Krishna. We don't necessarily have the same good fortune, where Krishna is offering service to drive as on our chariot, and he's ready to personally be there and instruct us at every level, and we can personally see him and interact with him. We can, but it's not the same as Arjuna's great fortune. But there are realized personalities in this world. Has anyone ever met somebody who has some more to offer than they do? Yeah, everyone should hopefully raise your hand. Yes, I hope so. If you haven't, if you haven't met somebody, I can guarantee you that there's someone greater than you who can help you in this world. He may need his mommy. Devi, if you're listening, please. There she goes. She's coming. So that was very quick. So yes, what he did, he found somebody who had it figured out, who wasn't overcome by miserly weakness, and who knew exactly what to do in their life. This person is called Guru, the spiritual master. If you know this one thing, you will never be defeated, and you will be able to know everything. But if you don't know this one thing, no matter what you study and no matter what you do, even in devotional life, it will all be useless. So if you know this one thing, you can be successful in life. And if you don't know this one thing, no matter what you do, you'll never be successful in life. That's why the first limb of devotional service is Guru Padashraya, taking shelter at the feet of a guru. If you don't do that in your life, you'll never know what your duty is, and that means you'll never do anything right, And then you'll always, which will lead to karpanya doshopahata, to always be overcome by misery and weakness. So if you don't know this one thing, you will be defeated in life every time. But if you know just this one thing, you will always have a chance for the supreme victory. So he says, Yachtresha nishtitam bruhi tanme. How can my good fortune be there, nishtitam, confidently, with, assured? Bruhi tanme, please tell me. Shishyashteham, I am your disciple. Shadhimam, please instruct me. Tvam prapanam, because I am surrendered unto you. So this is your most important verse of Bhagavad Gita. And this was spoken by Arjuna, actually. Because all the other verses of Krishna, they don't come without this realization. So you have to have a level of humility, and you have to have realization that you can't do it on your own. It's not going to happen on your own. You're going to need someone to instruct you. And there's a chain. Usually there's a guru. Nowadays there are different options for different people. We don't have the same Vedic culture. And in the Vedic culture, it used to be that there was traditionally a male guru, and there was traditionally all ladies were married to men. There's no opportunity. It happened at a young age, even in biblical times, even just like 120 years ago. That was the case. Ladies got married young, and they weren't educated, and the husband worked. And in Vedic culture, spiritual culture, the husband studied under the guru, and the ladies, they studied under their husband, and then everyone was benefited. And the children, they studied under the mother especially, and then also a little bit for the father as well. What? No, everyone was educated, but it was in a different manner. The man was educated on how to maintain one's life and one's family, and also got spiritual training under the guru, and then the wife under the husband, and the children under primarily the wife, and then eventually the teachers and like that. But that doesn't really exist anymore, that model. It works, it's a great model, but it's not so prominent in today's society. So the boys and girls all get educated together, and the boys and girls all do everything together. But sometimes the traditional woman roles, actually, they get neglected in society because of that. But anyway, I'm not here to critique modern society. I am here to tell you how you got this. So traditionally, oftentimes a woman would through her husband get. And a man would approach a guru. And the children, they would get this knowledge through their parents, and then one day when they're old enough, they also would approach a guru, or get married, or so on. But anyhow, because everything's blurred and there's no clear roles, and we don't live in society, even in Indian culture, Vedic culture, this all is practically falling apart, truthfully speaking. Still, there's always options, and there's gurus for everybody. And ladies can find a guru, men can find a guru. There's options for everybody to find a guru. But what is the universal thing that has to be there? You must find guru. You have to. Otherwise, you'll never know what to do. Why? Because you'll always be relying on just your own intelligence. But if you guys hear this from me so many times, and you guys are all people who come here. I don't want to beat the dead horse over and over again. It's a figure of speech, beating a dead horse, because you would beat a horse to try to get it to do something you want to do, but if the horse is dead, it makes no sense beating a dead horse. So I don't recommend beating horses also. It's not. My wife's family has a horse farm. None are beaten there. So anyhow, what's that? Why even talk about it? So anyhow, but you need a guru. So Prabhupada is saying, now I'm your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. Please instruct me. And Prabhupada says, by nature's own way, the complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. So for everyone, you're going to be perplexed. You're not going to know what to do. In every step there is perplexity, and therefore it behooves, or means it's in one's best interest, one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. All Vedic literatures advise us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life which happen without our desire. Meaning no matter what you desire, you're going to be perplexed and you're going to face some great calamity or awkward situation. No matter what, I can guarantee you, that's just the human condition and human experience. So, they are like these things that happen without a desire, they're like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appear without our wanting such confusion. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place, and we become perplexed. The Vedic wisdom therefore advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. A person, what does the disciplic succession mean? Yes, Amnaya Praha is that. And what does that mean?
It's directly coming from Krishna.
Yes.
Coming.
So Guru Parampara Praptvar Vedavakyam. So in order to understand the Vedic wisdom, it has to come in Guru Parampara. It has to come in disciplic succession, which means who sets it off? Who's the one giving the knowledge? The independent knowledge is coming where? Who is giving it? Did we find it under the rock or the tree in the cave? No, God is giving actually. God is the source of knowledge. And the only reason we know any knowledge is because God has sanctioned that it would be passed down to us. So that's how knowledge comes. And who does God entrust with his most confidential knowledge? The Vedic knowledge.
His representatives.
His representatives, or who are his? Devotees. Yes, his devotees only. Only those who are completely surrendered to him, then he say, I will entrust you with knowledge. I can trust you to share this with others because you're fully surrendered to me. So, his devotees, his who you could say his representatives in this world. So God, in the beginning of time, who was God's representative in this universe? Brahma, yes. And then Brahma, he learned, and then Brahma said, okay, I need some representatives to share this. Who are the next tier? Narad and so on. Actually, I have something I can show you guys. I don't know if you knew this was in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. I don't know. Let's see. Hopefully it shows up here. No, it's not in the foreword. So we'll try the next part. The introduction. It's at the end of the introduction? Okay. So check this out. Alright, here, you see this? This is the line of how the knowledge is coming to us. Prabhupada put this in the beginning of his Bhagavad Gita. And you could see it starts with Krishna, with God, and then to Brahma, then to Narada, and then to Vyas, and then to Madhava, then to Padmanabh, Narhari, Madhava, Akshobi, and it's tracing the disciplic succession of the pure representatives that have been carrying down this ancient knowledge so that it reaches us. And now, when it reached this printing of Bhagavad Gita, it ended with A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, who is sharing this knowledge. So now we also need to find somebody who's entered into this, who's plugged into this. It doesn't necessarily have to be through number 32 A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. It could be someone else connected to Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Or it could have been through another lineage who is connected to Gaura Kishore or anything like this. But what has to happen is that this same original knowledge has to reach the original Godhead, Krishna, has to be the source of the knowledge, and then we're in the disciplic succession. So our lineage and all the teachers we promote here are all in this disciplic succession. And that's what's very important. And so, Prabhupada is saying in this verse that One must approach a spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. So important. A person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. Wow. How does that make sense? Tanma, you know everything? Stella? No? Avani? Okay, I have a spiritual master. Do I know everything? My wife's saying no. But actually, one who is actually following the orders of their spiritual master, they know everything that they need to know. There's nothing else for them to be known. And if they feel like they're perplexed, they can check with their spiritual master, and then again, they'll know everything that needs to be known. The spiritual master has to be bona fide. He has to have that same connection with his spiritual master. That's how one becomes a spiritual master. That divine knowledge is properly received through the disciplic succession. But if that's the case, then if you know from your spiritual master, you know everything you need to know. You don't need to know how the all the atoms have arranged, and you don't need to know every element on the periodic table. You don't need to know all of this. No, this is all useless knowledge. But everything that needs to be known for you will be known if you have a proper spiritual master, because they can see what's the essence of life and what should be done and what you need to do. So, one should not therefore remain in material perplexities, but should approach a spiritual master. This is the purport of this verse. Meaning, you don't know what to do on your own, but if you approach a spiritual master, you'll know exactly what to do. They will guide you on what to do. And then guess what you feel? Yeah, you feel peace. You feel so much relief. Oh my God. I don't have to put all the weight on myself. Because what happens when you put the weight on yourself? Vishada yoga. You realize that you can't do it. Everything you've tried, nothing ever works, and you're sitting here lamenting. But if you just do this one thing that Arjuna does, that's why the next chapter began, when he did this. Vishada yoga ended, the yoga of lamentation, and Krishna is going to tell him the higher knowledge. So, he says, who is the man in material perplexities? It is he who does not understand the problems of life. In the Gargi Upanishad, the perplexed man is described as follows. Yova itadaksharam garg yavitid vasma lokad prayati sakripanaha. He is a miserly man who does not solve the problems of life as a human, and who thus quits the world like the cats and dogs, without understanding the science of self-realization. So how do cats and dogs quit the world? What? Well, they have to stop that. But yes, they're all they're constantly worried about their inability to do those things. They're very fearful, actually. So people who quit like this world like an animal, they quit very fearful. Because animals, they die in fear, usually in the jaws of another animal. That's how almost every animal dies. Very few animals, only domesticated animals by humans, they get to die in with someone giving some chemical injection, or at home with their humans petting them and things. No, every other species, how they die, they usually in the jaws of the next animal. Like I watch in my bathroom how some bug is dying in the web of the spider, and the spider is just devouring the bug, and the bug must like this. It's a very fearful situation, actually. But the human actually has an enhanced way that they can die if they live by higher principles. So the human being, they can solve the higher problems of life. They know what life is about, actually. It said here, the science of self-realization. They know who they are, and this whole Bhagavad Gita is going to teach you what is life. Do you all know what is life? Do you know the total duty that needs to be done, Tanmay? Yeah, that needs to be done in this world.
Somewhat, yes.
Maybe somewhat. Stella, you know? Yeah, somewhat maybe. Avani, you know? Good, that's the best answer. No, I don't know. That's good, because someone will tell you. But the human life, you can actually know. what needs to be done. Animal life, they'll never know. And it's a very fearful situation due to not knowing, and it's actually filled with lamentation. Which is why the first chapter is called Vishada Yoga, the yoga of lamentation. But there's a solution, and Krishna is going to give the solution. So, this human form of life, Prabhupada says, is the most valuable asset for the living entity who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. So, if you don't use this life in understanding the problems of life and solving them, you will become a miser. Which means that you are miserable. Yes. That is the definition of the word miser. Yes, that means that you'll be miserable. You'll be upset, and which means you'll always have some lamentation or complaint in life. So, on the other hand, there is the Brahmin, or he who is intelligent enough to utilize this body to solve all the problems of life. This is what it means to be a Brahmin. This is what it means to take initiation. Where you have now fully found your spiritual teacher, who will deliver you, and he will give you all the answers to life, and now all you have to do is just fully imbibe that knowledge, and then you can share that knowledge with others. And then you also, one day, may also take that role. The Kripanas, or miserly persons, waste their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, country, etc. So, for those who get very caught up in family life, or trying to make a mark in society, or trying to be some established personality for your country, or any type of interest, like worldly interest, you will become a miserly person. Who here wants to be a miserly person? None of us want to be a miserly person, but we find ourselves miserable because we don't know where to place our affection, where to place our love. What do they say? This Mukunda, you sing it. Looking for love in all the wrong places. Looking for love in all the wrong places. Right? That's closer to your generation than my generation. Yeah. So we're looking for love in all the wrong places. It's because we're overly affectionate to things that will only make us miserable. So if your affection is only for, oh, my baby has to be like this, and my wife has to be like, oh, look, just see. Yeah, I try to give him my affection, and he just wants to push me over. So like this. But this is actually a perfect example. If we put all our affection on family, and that includes between husband and wife, or our relationships, or our society, or our career at work, or our country, our standing in society, and our standing in our family, we will be guaranteed miserable. And we don't want to be miserable. Oh, I should drink this before you ruin it. So, Prabhupada is saying, one is often attached to family life, namely to wife, children, and other members, on the basis of skin disease. Okay. Why are we attracted to, why is a girl and a boy attracted to each other? It's simpler than you think. What do you think? Yeah, they think they're beautiful. Yes. Yes. At some point, you thought that they're beautiful. At some point, it may change as we age. We get less beautiful. I don't know if it's news to anyone, but yes. But actually, if you peel the skin back, just my wife is looking very beautiful. But if we just take a little incision here, surgical incision, and just peel the skin back, how beautiful do you think my wife will look? It's not. Beauty is skin deep, actually, in this material world. It's skin. Once the skin is peeled back, it's pretty gross what's going on under there. It's not. What people are attracted to is actually the skin. So Prabhupada calls this the skin disease. The Kripana thinks that he is able to protect his family members from death. Or the Kripana thinks that his family or society can save him from the verge of death. But actually, you're going to die. They're going to die. You can't stop it, actually. Everything that you care about in this world, everyone you care about, it's going to be lost. And they're going to die, and you can't stop it. And if you're attached to these things, you will lament. It's just natural. So, we need to have some solution to this problem. That everything that's going to happen in reality is I'm going to be lamenting, I'm going to be miserable about. Unless I have some solution. So what's the solution? So such family attachment can even be found in the lower animals who take care of children also. We've all seen videos of, cows separated from their calves and lamenting how sad they are and so on. I just saw something of a beluga whale. He jumped out of they took him to some tank that was connected to the ocean, but in captivity, but they separated it from the calf. And when they weren't looking at the wee hours of the night, the whale jumped over the embankment and went back in the ocean, and it went 150 something miles and returned to its calf. Which is how much family attachment is there? That even the beluga whales can do this. That's actually amazing. But but it's also in the lower animals. They're attached like this. So being intelligent, Arjuna could understand that his affection for family members and his wish to protect them from death were the causes of his perplexities. Because he didn't want to fight the war against his family members, even his teachers and things. It was so hard for him. So although he could understand that this duty to fight was awaiting him, still on account of his miserly weakness, he could not discharge the duties. He is therefore asking Lord Krishna, the Supreme Spiritual Master, to make a definite solution. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop friendly talks. Talks between the master and the disciple are serious. And now Arjuna wants to talk very seriously before the recognized spiritual master. So this is also very important. Krishna, he's God. He's like the best spiritual master you can get. We're not all as fortunate. But he is the recognized spiritual master for Arjuna. And this is very important. Even the Christians, they always quote this verse, and that's why they think everyone should follow the Christian path. They said, Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life, and nobody comes to the Father except through me. But what he's teaching is Guru Tattva in this verse. Jesus is teaching Guru Tattva, that he's the recognized spiritual master for this time, in this place, in this circumstance, and especially for these disciples. And if you don't go through me, you'll never be able to find God. I am come here just to share God with you. So Krishna is God, and still, he didn't just give Arjuna everything. He had to go through the human experience of overcoming and surrendering to the proper spiritual master, and then he's going to get enlightenment. So Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of the science of Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is the first disciple for understanding the Gita. How Arjuna understands the Bhagavad Gita is stated in the Gita itself. And yet foolish mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. These are some popular spiritual ideas. That you don't need to actually surrender to a spiritual master. You don't need to actually surrender to Krishna. You just have to surrender to that thing within Krishna that's also within you. Just surrender to yourself. But no, it's not any type of, I just need to meditate and go within and I'll find the answer. It's not that actually. You need to find a realized personality. And when you find that realized personality, you can make some realization. Otherwise, you'll get too attached to the things of this world, wife or husband, children, family, society, and when you have to lose all them or nothing can meet your expectations, you will just continue to suffer over and over and over again. Do you know whose fault your suffering is? We blame a lot of people for our suffering. It's our own fault. It's us. We're suffering due to our fault. So, there's no difference between Krishna's within and without, and one who has no sense of this understanding is the greatest fool in trying to understand Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is not about you trying to understand yourself. It's part of it. But you're not going to find all the answers within. You need the spiritually realized person who knows this knowledge. Krishna is going to give knowledge, and he's empowered representatives in this world to understand the knowledge. And if you want to not lament in this world, you have to do this. You have to find somebody with this knowledge, and you have to get serious with them and try to understand this knowledge from them. Inquire from them. Or their representative. Like in traditional times, it would have been inappropriate for the wife of a husband to go before the spiritual master, because there's a strict rule that men would not associate with any woman outside their wife. So for a lady to go before a man's spiritual master and try to inquire would be very difficult for him, actually. Very difficult for her. So, but if she's in disciplic succession through the husband's making that connection, and she gets that knowledge accompanying the husband, and with the husband they can put their questions and they can know exactly what needs to be done. They'll know everything that they need to do in life. Like one who has a spiritual master in a bona fide way knows everything. Do you want to know everything? Avani, would you like to have all knowledge? Yes, it's actually available to you. Not that all the textbooks, all that information is just going to fly into your brain and you'll be like some all-knowing trivia, queen or something, or king in this world. It's not going to be like that. But the spiritual master will recognize the exact essence. He will see you. And he will know exactly what for you, this is all you need to focus on. And you will be perfect. And in that way, you'll know everything. Everything that needs to be done, you'll know it. It's not that difficult, actually. Once you get your instructions from your spiritual master, he'll say, all right, this is your form of expertise. You just work on these things, and you'll have perfection just by doing these small few things. Maybe it's just, like for my wife, it's just to take care of her child, take care of her husband, try to do some chanting, try to understand, hear lectures, and try to understand spiritual knowledge, and everything will come. You'll have everything you need just from these small things. And for me, it's something similar. But to also try to share these things, share what I'm learning from my teachers, and I will perfect myself through this way. So it's actually not that hard. So what's the first thing Krishna said? You know this verse? Bharat, you know this verse. You shared this in your class a few weeks back. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Ashochan Nanvashochastvang Pragyavadangscha Bhashase Gatasuna Gatasumscha Nanushochanti Pandita. Okay, this is really important. I'm going to skip the translation. But he's saying, the Blessed Lord said, while speaking learned words, you are mourning for what is not worthy of grief. Those who are wise lament neither for the living nor the dead. So ashochan means that which is not, like shochan means lamentable. That's a shochan situation. Ashochan means a not lamentable situation. Anvashochas, but you are lamenting. Tvam is you. Pragya means like learned. To be pragya is to be situated in knowledge. Vadams is a conversation. So learned conversation, learned words. Chabashase, you are speaking. You're speaking learned words. Like a lot of times we put forth a lot of philosophy in life. Like, let's say my wife upsets me. Yes? Does anyone ever get upset with their husband or wife sometimes? Yes. And so when my wife upsets me, I can put forth a full dissertation about why all the things she's doing is wrong and why I should be upset with her. Here's my thesis on why you're a doo-doo head. And then I will, go through the whole thing about why you're failing and this, that, and the other thing. And speak all kinds of learned words. But ultimately, Krishna is going to say this just 2 lines, which we should know. Gatasun agatasums cha. Gatasun means gata is lost, asun is life. So when life is lost, and agatasums, when life is not lost. So for the dead and the living. Cha, nanushochanti pandita. Na means I should never, anushochanti, lament, pandita. The learned never lament. For that which is for the dead nor for the living. So what's that mean? If we're lamenting, what does that indirectly mean? If you complain, you are Kripana, a miser. Yes, that's what complainers do. They're miserable. That's why they complain. But if you complain, then
You're lamenting.
yes, come on. But what's that mean?
You're in ignorance.
You're in ignorance. You're a fool, actually. We should know this. If we're complaining in life, it's because we're foolish. It's not because of the situation, actually. It's because we are foolish. So that's the first teaching of Bhagavad Gita. The first teaching is Vishada Yoga. This world is lamentable. This world is just filled with lamentation, and everything that I have affection for here, I'm going to lose, and nothing will ever work how I want it to here. That's the first teaching of Bhagavad Gita. But then the second teaching of Bhagavad Gita is that I don't have to lament. And actually only the fools lament in this world. Which is everybody. Which means everybody's a fool in this world. And once you know you're a fool, you have the pathway on how to, like Arjuna, on how to not be a fool anymore. To surrender unto one who's not a fool. Who is linked with God and has been empowered by God. And how? Through disciplic succession. So Prabhupada just shared his disciplic succession. If you want to also join the disciplic succession, you can also join. You must find a guru. Or it's not, or if you're, traditionally if you were a lady, if your husband had a bona fide guru, then you just serve your husband and his instructions and everything will be perfect. Actually. Or if you're a child and it's not really time for you, you just follow mommy and daddy who have a guru and everything will be good. It doesn't, but everyone, there has to be a link to the disciplic succession and everything will be perfect. So, the first thing we should understand, I'm going to end here now. What should be understood? What's the one thing that needs to be understood for success? Approach guru, why? Yes, but why? To solve the perplexities of life? Yes. So why do we have perplexities of life? Because we're in ignorance, which actually, because we're foolish. We don't know any better, and then so we dharma samudha chetaha. We don't know our duty, and karpanya dosho pahatas wabhava. Our nature is completely overcome by misery. So, we need to ask someone what? Yachreyashchan nishtitam bruhitan me. He's saying, please tell me, how can all good fortune come to my life? How can I have good fortune in my life? I'm miserable. How can I have good fortune? And then the next part, Shishashteham shadimam tvam prapanam. I'm your disciple and a soul surrendered unto you. So please, bring good fortune to my life. So if you know this one thing, that you, in the current state, if you're complaining and lamenting in life, it's natural. You're not alone. Everybody is complaining in this world and everybody is upset with the circumstances they're getting in life. And it will continue to only get worse. In youth, we have almost like a childish naivety. In youth, where it's like Abhiram, everything's good, and mommy and daddy are there, but over time when we keep associating with this world, it'll just be disappointment after disappointment and after disappointment. And eventually, if you don't find guru, you'll just get jaded and become very, very miserable in this life, because you can only be disappointed so many times before you snap. But when you're young, that many disappointments hasn't happened yet. But when you get to maybe my age, a little bit more disappointment has happened. When you get to Mukunda's age, you've seen even more disappointment, and it'll just keep being more and more. But until we have a guru who can deliver us from this disappointment, it'll just get worse and worse until death comes for us, and we'll really be disappointed. And if you're not disappointed yet, you made it that far without being fully disappointed, you'll be fully disappointed then. So, but if you realize that wise people are not lamenting. That there are people beyond lamentation. And if you realize that you're lamenting for that which is not lamentable, and that there's a solution, and if you approach the right person, you have all solutions, you can be free from this vishada, from this lamentation. It's good to realize the lamentation of this world. That's why the first chapter is a yoga, actually. To realize that this world is filled with perplexities that will always cause you misery. That's a good realization, actually. So if you haven't yet realized that, that's step one. Realize in this world, with the force of birth, death, disease, old age, you're always going to be miserable at the end. Unless you can approach one who's beyond the miseries of this world, who's liberated from it. But this is actually a divine teaching given by God. And if you approach that person, you can be delivered as well. And that's the whole subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. He's giving that higher knowledge, that information, which will allow us not to lament anymore. Again, who here is lamenting in life? Does anyone want to lament? You would all like to be free from lamentation? Okay. So now, you know the one thing that you could do. Find a teacher, and if you don't know a teacher, guess what? We here at Mantra Central, we know teachers. We'll happily connect you with teachers who will allow you to not lament. So, the devotees here, by good fortune, when we are connected very sincerely and deeply with our teacher, we don't have anything to lament for. So we can give you that same gift. And if you're finding yourself in lamentation, approach your teacher. And if he's not able to dispel your lamentation, do you know what that means actually? So let's just say Avani was lamenting. And Avani was saying, I go to the temple and there's this really nice devotee, Parth. And Parth is, he's so nice. I think I'd like to accept Parth as my guru. And so Avani says, yes, Parth will be my guru. It'll be perfect. Every time I'm lamenting, I'm going to ask Parth my questions. So Parth may even accept, okay, Avani, I will try to deliver you from lamentation. So Avani, this, that, and the other. But if Parth can't fully dispel Avani's doubts and lamentations in this world, do you know what that means? Parth can't be the guru, actually. So a guru is one who completely eradicates ignorance. That's what guru means. So, if a guru can completely eradicate your ignorance, they can be guru to you. But if you are still having doubts and lamentations, then you have to actually, you first check yourself. Am I being a proper disciple? Am I approaching them in a sincere way? Am I really trying to apply their teachings? But if you are doing that and still your lamentation is not going away, the guru is not giving you sufficient knowledge, you may also have to seek higher teachings. So like this. So if you take Parth as your guru, Avani, you may find that Parth won't be able to fulfill the role, and if you ask Parth that, he may say, Avani, I cannot fulfill this role. So then, but Parth can maybe introduce you to his guru, or someone connected like that. And then until you find yourself free from lamentation, know that your work isn't done yet. You haven't found your true guru. Because your guru will be able to completely free you from lamentation in this world. So, that's the function of guru. He lifts one beyond the ignorance of lamentation in this world. So, but you may say, how do I find a guru? Yes? How do I know who's true guru? How do I know all these things? How can I recognize I'm in a miserable situation? I don't know my duty. I don't know who's guru. That's fair, right? For that, the answer is this. The Vedas say that sincerity is immortal. Nothing can beat sincerity. So, Lord Brahma, he made a boo-boo and he made an offense to God and to Krishna. And he spoke this verse. And this is the solution for all devotees. This is from the Bhagavatam. I'll share it with you guys. Let's see here. We'll go to Veda base. And we will go to Bhagavatam. Then we'll go to 10. Then we'll go to 14. And then we'll go to 8. Okay. Repeat after me. Tatenu kampang susamikshamano punjana evatma kritang vipakam hridvagvaparbir vidadan namaste jiveta yomukti pade sadayabak. Okay, it means, my dear Lord, one who earnestly awaits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, his words, and his body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. So the translation is Tatenu kampam susamikshamano, which means that person who is eagerly awaiting your mercy. So do you all want God's mercy? Yes, you all want God's mercy. That's good. Bunjana means experiencing. Evatma, certainly, Atma Kritam are the activities caused by yourself. Meaning, that which is causing you misery is Atma Kritam, is self-caused. You did it. Your life is your own making, actually. Do we know that our life is our own making? So vipakam here, what is that? It's the results done by yourself, given by yourself. Your own results have come from your doing, actually. So hrid, with your heart, with your mind, actually, your consciousness. Vag, with your words. And vapur, with your bodies. Vapur birj, with your body. Vidadan, I'm making an offering. Namaste, unto you, Lord. I'm offering my mind, my words, and my body to you. I'm going to engage all these things in service to you. Jiveta, one can live. He who, one who. Mukti pade, at your feet, which give freedom. Freedom from suffering is mukti. Sadayabak, he can achieve. Sa is he, and dayabak is he can get that special mercy. He's the rightful heir. So this is what you do. Just with your heart, with your words, and with your body, offer it to the Lord to the best of your ability. Come here to the temple, engage in worship with us. We will help you, and you will be successful. And why? Because you're going to meet our teachers, and you'll have a connection to teachers, and they will deliver you from misery. We can guarantee you that because they're doing it to us already. So, and everything that needs to be known will be known to you. You don't need to know the entire dictionary or the entire encyclopedia. All you need to know is what is relevant for you in your position as a spiritual soul. And so it's simple. It might be something as simple as just keep serving at your temple, going to school or work, and, trying to be helpful to your community and hearing as much as you can about spiritual knowledge and gaining a little bit of spiritual knowledge day by day. And that's perfect for you. And then the spiritual master will let you know when more intricate and complex services may arise. Over time, your capacity to serve will increase more and more and more and more. And you'll be able to do more. But until then, just start simply. And the spiritual master will help you. It's simple, actually. Just do what you can. If you live here, like Stella, you live here, and Deepthi, you live here, and Madhav lives here, and Tanu lives here for only a little while longer, and Parth lives here, every day we should just try to worship and study And if we do that little thing every day, we'll keep making progress. That's all we have to really focus on in life. And if we just do that, everything else will be perfect. Our career life will fall into place. Our relationship life will fall into place. Everything will be perfect, actually. We just have to take these spiritual activities and just complete them every day. Tanmay and Avani, you guys don't live here, so you don't have the same exact benefit. But you guys can come multiple times a week. We open this place up to you every day. If you can make it every day, come every day. And you'll do well that way. But whatever you can do, even if you can come once a week, twice a week, 3, 5 times a week, come as much as you can. And then eventually meet our teachers. It's incomplete if you just associate here. You have to also meet our teachers. So we'll let you know when festivals are coming. We'll let you know when an important event is coming or when our teachers are coming. Meet them. And this will be your opportunity to be connected and to have direct spiritual guidance through our teachers. And then you yourself will have a teacher, and then you can feel at peace. All right, my guru just wants me to do this simple thing. I can do this. I can do these simple things. I don't have to try to become the leader of the free world. I don't have to try to be, like Tanmay, you were telling me, the greatest soccer player in the whole world or something like that. That may be impossible, and it may cause a situation of lamentation. Or, Stella, you may not have to become the greatest singer in all the world. There may be, a teacher might see you and be like, oh, you and your husband, you're both very musically inclined. Why don't you do this, this, and this together, and it'll be perfect. And he'll have the vision, and he'll see, and then you'll find, oh, that's a lot easier than what I was trying for. It's all right, I could be happy doing this. Or Tanmay, he might see you, and he might also be able to give you, guidance, and then I can do that. And then you could be happy right away. It doesn't have to be, well, maybe one day in the future I'll be happy when I finally won the World Cup. It's very difficult to win the World Cup. It's not But he might, the spiritual master with the vision, they might see, oh, you're inclined towards soccer, you're inclined towards working in this way in the world? Okay, do this, this, and this, and it'll be perfect. And then you could be happy. And so Deepthi, the same. They'll see you where you're at and what you're, the position you're in, and then they can help you. And Mukunda and me and everyone. So okay, that's it. Is it clear? Okay, so again, what is the main thing, the one thing that needs to be known so all other things can be known? Having a guru, and what qualifies them as a guru?
You should have that knowledge.
Yes, and how did they get that knowledge? How did they get that knowledge? How are you going to get knowledge?
From Guru,
Yes, so how did they get knowledge?
from their Guru.
And how did they get knowledge? From their guru? Yes, and then it goes, that's actually how we're connected to God. God gives knowledge to his devotee, and then the devotee becomes a guru and instructs another, and then one who properly received that knowledge can become a guru for another. So your guru should be the best disciple. So that should be a qualification. A guru is not like some wonderful guru. He's also the best disciple. So that's how he became a guru. So also then you should try to be the best disciple you can. And then maybe one day also you can act as that function for someone else. But that's a future, big future endeavor. Don't try to be guru. Try to be a disciple first. Because guru is the best disciple actually. So anyhow, then you'll know everything that needs to be known, and you'll be perfectly situated. And the guru knows, you should know this, the guru knows all the shastra. And he's completely detached from worldly things. He's beyond all these things. And he's not upset with skin disease. He's not lamenting about all the skin disease in this world. Like when right now the FIFA World Cup is going on. And only one team celebrates. Everyone else is lamenting. They go home, they lament, actually. No one's happy with second place. Right? So only one actually, So in this world, it's like that. Only the people who reach the top, they've defeated everyone else, they experience happiness for some time. But when someone defeats them, they'll never be happy. And that's why nobody is happy in this world, because you can't hold the top for long. You know? So then you go back into, you may be champion of the world. Who won World Cup last time? Argentina. Did they lose already?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're already out. Oh, they didn't lose. They're still in it. So they're working hard again, but they won't be happy until they won again, right?
Yeah.
But can all the teams win again? No, only one can win. The material world is like that. Only one person can be at the top of pleasure and power. And it only is for a short time, and then someone else conquers them. So Argentina, they may win again, or they may lose and lament. But the devotee never laments, because they understand how this world works, and they know it's full of lamentation, and they seek out the one who knows what's really auspicious for them, and what's really auspicious in this world. And devotees, the learned, the wise never lament. They never have a reason to lament. So you can also never have a reason to lament when you learn from such a wise person. So that's the message of today. I hope you actually focus on this in your life. You find your guru. If you need help, we know many gurus. We even know female gurus. We know male gurus. Everything that you need, we know. We have access to. So whatever conditions you want to put on how you want to find your guru, fine. We can meet all your conditions. But you need a guru. And then you can be beyond lamentation, and you will have nothing to complain about anymore in life. And then you'll be happy. So, we invite you. Hare Krishna, thank you so much. That's my presentation. And you can ask me questions later if you like. We'll do arti now. Parth, you can blow the conch. Mukunda, right? You're not doing arti.
No.
Grantaraj, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam ki